I'm going to make something now I've never made before, so we'll all try it. Yesterday in the class, I was supposed to come here and make, I told Steve I'd make key lime pie ice cream for the onset of spring. And then I thought I would make also for the summer a cheesecake ice cream. And then yesterday, this young lady in the class said, can you make a sherbet? So I said, of course. And we went into the back of my shop and looked on the shelves and what flavor we're going to make. And, you know, I have chocolates and I have strawberries and I have, you know, all these other things in the back. And we had one product that I said, well, let's try that. So we're going to make a hazelnut Nutella, obviously. This is the finest product in the world. Did you bring the mix? Oh yeah. So this is Nutella. It's heavenly. I mean, you could just sit and drink it, eat it with a spoon. It's so good. Has anybody not had Nutella ever? Okay, then we're there. So I thought, let's make a Nutella sherbet, a hazelnut sherbet. Why not? So we'll give it a shot. For sherbet, now sherbet is a synonym for cream ice. And cream ice, you can be very successful opening a cream ice store. My friend owns a cream ice store in South Florida. It's called Cecily's Gourmet Italian Ices, and he just sells cream ice. And he's got 75, 100, over 100 flavors of cream ice every day, and the lines are out the door. He does very well.
Can I disagree with you? On one minor point?
Go ahead.
I don't think sherbet and cream ice are the same thing, although they're the same ingredients and it comes out the same, because sherbet, when we were growing up, was always lemon and raspberry and lime, and that was about it.
Right.
And it tended to be sticky and gummy because they threw so many chemicals in it,
Okay.
which you can't do with water ice. You cannot put chemicals in. So I think your product is, it's underrating it, calling it sherbet. It's, a cream ice is a pure product, and that's what you make.
What is intermezzo?
That's what you have between
I know
the main
what it
course
is,
and the
but
dessert.
That's sherbet. That's water ice. Cream ice.
I think cream ice is a better quality than
Okay.
sherbet.
Okay. Well,
I
that's
think you're
why
making,
he's so successful.
I think you're making a better product than,
Okay, well,
than somebody selling. You know, when you go to buy,
pile it on, baby.
when you go to buy Breyer's sherbet, it's not going to be anything like this. It's going to be sticky and tully.
Okay. Okay.
Your stuff's good.
The basic cream ice recipe in my world is very simple, and it works. This is so simple, this business. 3 quarts of water, 1 quart of ice cream mix, and 2 pounds of sugar. And that's it. That's it. Now, to that, you can add anything you want. So even though I've never made this before, we're going to have, how many quarts of water? 3 quarts of water. How many quarts of mix? 1 quart of mix. It's 3-2-1, isn't it? 3-2-1 for cream ice. 3 quarts of water, 2 pounds of sugar, and 1 quart of mix. 3-2-1. And then let yourself go wild. Whatever you walk up and down the supermarket. Just a quick kick. In the supermarket, there's the Jell-O aisle. And if you ever need inspiration, they got 4 zillion flavors of Jell-O. And look at all the flavors. Not only could you take a box and make ice cream out of it, but it'll be a springboard for all those flavors. They did all the work for us. They know what sells to people and what their customers like. So if Jell-O, if you see strawberry mango Jell-O and it's on the top of their Jell-O aisle, hello, make strawberry mango ice cream. It's gonna work. What'd you do to her? It's funny. Okay, so how many quarts of mix? 1. I'd rather. Do we have any more of these?
I think so. Hold on.
Oh, never mind. I'll use a mixing cup. No problem. A 1 quart mixing cup. It just makes it easier to handle. Even though we're going to be, yes?
I know you said Jell-O. What about the Jell-O pudding mix? Would you not, you want to use the gelatin one or?
Hell no, anything.
Okay.
Anything, any flavor.
You're not using them, though. You're just stealing the flavor idea.
Well, you can use them. I've used Jell-O pistachio Jello. I saw it, and I bought it, and I tried it, and it was fine.
Yeah,
But-
Have you tried like the pudding? That's what's, jello pudding. I don't know if you can use
No,
that.
but Steve's right. The flavors are what you're looking at, because they've got them all in the market there. This is dangerous, right on the edge of the table, isn't it?
You're a professional.
I'm a professional. Yes, but a professional what? All right, so we've got 2 pounds of sugar. We've got 3, 2, 1. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do with Nutella, because I don't know yet. So we'll dilute this as Steve requests that we do. So there's 2 pounds of sugar in 3 quarts of water, right? Right. And we'll whisk that up.
Yeah.
See the smile on his face? He's
No,
so
no.
happy we're doing this.
The Italians call it Nocella, so there's a whole country over in Europe that is just groaning right now because we Americans call it what it should be called,
Let 'em
Nutella.
groan.
Yeah, let them groan.
And the mix. Now this in here is sherbet, or well, cream ice. This is cream ice right here. Cream ice. Cream ice is good to have because it's people who say I can't have a lot of dairy. We've only got 1 quart of dairy in here, so it's certainly less dairy. It's not for those lactose. Yes.
Instead of using that dairy, could you use, like, let's say, soy milk or any kind of other?
My doctor, who is a holistic doctor, wants me to make ice cream with almond milk and soy milk, and then he wants to sell my product in his place. So I said, I'll give it a shot. So I got almond milk, and I made ice cream with it. And it took about 10 minutes to throw it away after I made it. So I don't know what the answer is, but I couldn't do it.
I make products with soy and almond and coconut all the time. But when it says soy milk, it's a misnomer. There's no dairy in it. So it can't possibly be a cream ice because it has no dairy in it. It is an Italian ice. I mean, people are now liking to call it ice cream. They say, we make coconut ice cream. No, you don't. You're making a coconut Italian ice if you want to be federally technical about it. But if you want to call it coconut ice cream, that's fine. But there's no dairy in it. Without dairy, it is not an ice cream. And the federal government takes it even further and says, has to have 10% fat in it, otherwise it's called ice milk. There's a term you probably never even heard. That went away with
We grew up with that.
we grew up with that. And the way people got around it is they called it yogurt, they called it gelato. That's how they got around the federal law. But if it's an ice cream, it has to have dairy in it. So yes, you can use them, but just know what it is you're selling. You're no longer selling a cream ice. You're selling an Italian ice made with coconut milk, and it's not milk. Let's face it, it's a water. You're using it's got some stuff in it, but it's not dairy. So it's not a cream ice.
A 4-ounce ladle, so we'll start with a 4-ounce ladle full of Nutella. And this is good. It shows how we're all going to learn how to make this stuff. Nutella. Oh, that's 4 ounces plus, right? But I always like it to be a little more. And there'll be some left on the ladle.
What do you need? I'll get it for
I
you.
need a spatula.
Okay.
I always feel like Ralph Cramden when I invent stuff. Okay, anything made with Nutella can't be bad, right? Who makes Nutella, by the way? Is it a Hershey, a Nestle's, a
I always thought it was
Mars?
just Italian. I have no idea. Yeah, it's a European product.
Is it European, Nutella?
Nocella.
Let's see. Who makes it then? Made in Canada.
Hey,
It's made in Canada and distributed in Somerset, New Jersey. So there you go. It's made in Canada.
yeah, it's a
The
European flavor.
philosophy behind it is European.
Yes,
All right, let's mix this up a little,
Yeah.
and it should get a nice brownish color to it.
Did you clean that thing after I saw you building my machines out back?
You notice I went to cordless today,
Pretty cool.
right?
Working with liquids, not a bad idea.
I don't spare any expense when I come here. Now what should we do?
Taste test.
Taste it, of course. See if it has enough Nutella. Okay, it's good.
Write it down.
One ladle and a little more.
Generous ladle.
All right, which machine are we using? Look. Do you think he learns? Huh? Look, do you think he learns? I'll use this machine?
Yeah.
Okay. And for that, right?
Yeah,
Is
that's
this
what
one-
happens when you become a snob. You have people to do that for you. Thank you.
Okay. You
Gates
didn't
open.
rinse that, did you?
Yeah, I
You
did.
did?
Yeah.
It still smells a little of key lime. So I'm going to rinse it again, okay? So keep them entertained, Lloyd.
Any questions about ice? Oh, I'll tell you something. Larry DiStefano's up in Staten Island, and he owns and his family owns Ralph's Italian Ices. Just go to Ralph's Ices sometime and take a look at all the different flavors. And he came up with an idea beyond cream ices. He was talking to Paula, he's a good friend with my wife Paula, and she was telling him about ice cream down here being only 10% because of the heat and all that. And he went back, and I can't say that this is why he did it, but he went back and said, why can't we make ice cream Italian ices, ice cream flavors? So, and he's not even making a cream ice out of it. He's taking sugar and water and Oreo cookies, and he's making Oreo cookie Italian ice, which is an ice cream flavor. We're going to make peanut butter and jelly, which is an ice cream flavor, but we're going to make it as an Italian ice. Why can't you make mint chip Italian ice? So now you have all the variety of American ice creams, plus you've got the refreshing aspect of it of being Italian ice. Italian ice on a hot day just cools you right off. That whole principle works over at Universal Studios and SeaWorld, where they have our machines making a waterier version of Italian ice, lemon ice. Instead of serving in a cup, in a squeeze cup, they are putting it into a tall cup. Now, the idea behind it, again, was profit and making the customers happy. Father pays $70 to bring each person in his car to Universal Studios or SeaWorld. And by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, with this heat in the summertime, the kids are dragging, they're tired, they're cranky, everybody wants to go home, and he's thinking, I just punked down about $250 and they all want to go home. So they start selling frozen lemonade in a 16-ounce cup with a spoon, and you ladle it, and it's sugar, water, and flavor. It takes about 10 minutes, 15 minutes for a child to eat, and while the kid's having that, dad's having a beer. And by the time they're all finished, everybody is cooled off and refreshed and ready to continue on through the park. So it keeps them in the park. The parents feel like they left then at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They got their money's worth. And the same thing for you. Selling Italian ice and frozen lemonade and similar products, for the most part, will not take away from your ice cream sales. In Jeff's business, it's a little different. Everybody's there for the ice cream. And so there isn't, would you say there isn't as much demand for Italian ice?
Excuse me, I'm eating.
Oh, okay.
I tried making both and selling both in the store, and the reaction was, after eating or sampling your ice cream, all Italian ices taste thin and watery. Because, you just did it. You tasted some super premium handmade key lime ice cream, followed by the root beer ice. The root beer ice might have been good on its own, but following the ice cream, it didn't have the body that you expected. And that's what I experienced in the store, so
Yeah.
I don't do it.
Which is pretty unique. for the most part, you're staying within the frozen dessert realm that you are. Quick one for you, Jeff. If someone comes into your store, you're going to add more.
I'm going to add more.
Right, change the formula. Someone comes into your
Just a
store and says, how come you don't sell...
2 ladles.
Just a little.
Yeah, 2 ladles. 2 generous ladles. If someone walked into your store and complained that you don't sell hot dogs and French fries, what would you say to them?
Out.
Yes, I would too.
Well, you don't want to do that. Now, somebody did come through my class and emailed me. They're in Boynton Beach. It's called Boardwalk Ice Cream. They're right on the boardwalk. They sell fried foods with ice cream, and they just opened. But I said to be very careful because...
I went in there shortly after they opened, and I said, you've got to move that deep fat fryer to the back room and put a huge ventilator next to it. Because you walk into an ice cream parlor, which should smell clean and fresh, and it smells of grease. And that's deadly. If I walk into a place that sells hot dogs and hamburgers, it should smell like grease. I mean, you're smelling the fat. But I'll show you how bad a salesman I am. When I was 22 years old, I was called down to Kentucky. Kentucky Fried Chicken wanted to put ice cream into their stores. I could kick myself today. I talked them out of it. I said, don't do that, because within 7 days, all your ice cream is going to taste like chicken, because dairy is a protein, and the fats in the air, no matter how good your Ansel fire system is, the fat in the air is going to be absorbed by the ice cream. And it's all going to taste terrible. So there's no ice cream at Kentucky Fried Chicken, thanks to my stupidity.
Because of you.
Yeah, because of me.
You could have been driving that yacht.
I know. But the other quick problem is you're losing your identity. I mean, like I said, I build batch freezers. I don't build deep fat fryers. I don't build DeLorean cars. I do batch freezers. I'm known for batch freezers. You need to be known for frozen desserts. You know, Jeff, do you remember this one? You weren't in business doing this, but back in the late 70s, when The Who came out with the album about the pinball wizard.
Tommy.
Great album, great fun. Everybody was playing video games. And they've started putting those things into my customers' ice cream parlors. And you can make $500,000 a year. And if someone comes in and says, I can put $100 extra into your pocket, you know, not into the government, but into your pocket, boy, you jump on it. There's something about, you know, you're writing yourself a check for $500,000, but it's that $100 that really means something to you. And so, sure enough, these guys were giving them out $100 a week or a month for having a pinball machine in there. And they couldn't understand why sales were just going straight down, because the kids are all hung out going bing, 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 bing. And mothers with babies are saying, we're not going in there. It's too noisy, and my child wants to run over and he wants to play the game. And it killed so many ice cream parlors because they lost identity of what they were. When I see an ice cream parlor with popcorn, I say, call me when you're selling off all your equipment. Because if I make popcorn in here right now, it'll smell of popcorn all day long. You know, you can't get rid of it. So the point is, stay with the business you're in. Don't succumb. I mean, if sales are slow in January and you think you need to add hamburgers, no. Close down for the month of January. Go on vacation. Come back in February when sales pick back up. But don't add food. And I'm going to get phone calls tonight and for the next 6 years, people saying, well, I successfully do food.
From Joe at the boardwalk.
Yeah, but it's usually someone who, there's no other place in town to get anything, you know, other than a bottle of water, and so they have to go to him.
I think it all depends on what you want to do, what your goal is. If your goal is to make a lot of money, be independent, have fun, and create stuff, just stick with ice cream. There's really, you can make as much with an ice cream store just selling ice cream as you can selling anything if you do it right. The man owns a cigar store. He sells cigars, right? Makes a good living selling cigars. By promoting it and marketing it, he's the biggest cigar store person in his area. Whatever that means, I don't know.
But it sounded good.
It sounded, I was pontificating a little there. So we added a little more Nutella, and well, you know, you can't over Nutella. You can't over chocolate. So It should be okay. And it's cream ice for you, okay? We'll see. Yes, sir.
I've always been very clear on distinguishing between Italian ice and cream ice. Now, before when you mentioned about the Oreos, about the Oreo, you said an Oreo Italian ice. Now, is it actually, and also the peanut butter and jelly cream ice?
The only difference is the ice cream mix. You can have exotic flavors in both. You can have cheesecake Italian ices. If you're opening up an Italian ice store, you're certainly not going to stick with chocolate, cherry, and lemon because you're limiting your base. But if you make it exotic, if you have pistachio Italian ices, tiramisu Italian ices, the sky's the limit. You're just not adding dairy to it.
Okay, so you don't have to add dairy to
Italian ices, no.
okay, that's
The difference in the world of Italian ices and the world of cream ice or sherbet or sorbet is dairy, right?
Yeah, except for sorbet.
Well,
Sorbet is Italian ice
Yes.
with a fancy name.
right.
So, for example, the Oreo one that you mentioned, is that an Italian ice, or are we adding?
What do you want it to be? What do
It's
you
an
want
Italian
to
ice until you add a quart of cream.
make? Right.
And then it's a cream
becomes
ice.
Cream ice.
So can you do, for example, with peanut butter and jelly, can you make that an Italian ice?
How about this? How about if we didn't add the dairy, what would we have to what I'm making?
Would it be an Italian?
We'd have Nutella Italian ices, hazelnut Italian ices. That's it. That's the fun of this. You can do anything. All you need is one of those babies, and you could, when I first started, after I sat in that seat in the class, I got the machine, put it in my kitchen. I had an electrician put a 220 in my kitchen. I put tarp all over the floor, and for months it was Christmas every day. I was playing, getting fat, eating ice cream. The neighbors loved me because, you make a batch, you just can't eat it all. You try, but you can't do it. So you give it out. It was great. All you need is that. That's it. Everything else is fluff.
Let me show you the difference, or tell you the difference between Italian ice and sorbet, or sorbetto. That's an Italian ice. That's called a squeeze cup, and we squeeze it from the bottom and we eat it. It's a lot of fun. That's the New York way of eating Italian ice. That's a sorbet. This is $1.50. This is $7. It's the same sugar, water, and lemon juice. In fact, my formula, my secret formula is 7 pounds of sugar, 14 quarts of water, 2 quarts of fresh squeezed lemon juice, and the zest from 4 California lemons. If I put it in that, it's an Italian ice. If I put it in this, it's a sorbet. That is the only difference. I got to bring this up, too, about machines because it still bugs me. In 1903, and then patented in 1905, Jack, you ready? Jack, are you awake?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here's a picture. There is the world's first batch freezer, mechanized batch freezer, and it says it was invented by Emery Thompson, my grandfather, in New Rochelle, New York, in 1903, patented in 1906. The Italians came along with one in 1927. And look how similar they are. They copied our machine. What else could they do? There was nothing else on the market. An American invented the gelato machine. And then there's a little one, Taylor, came along around, 1926. They're out of the business, though. They don't sell batch freezers anymore. But it always bugs me because the president of Cappigiani called me up and was complaining about my advertising because I said we invented the gelato machine. And he said, oh, no, we invented the gelato machine. I said, look, pal, we invented it in 1906 was the patent date. And you're 1927. How do you jibe that? He said, well, they're two different products. We invented gelato. And I said, oh, let's see what's in ice cream and gelato. Would you agree they both have milk? Yes. Would you agree they both have cream? Sure. Sugar? Of course. Flavor? Yep. We invented the machine that makes that in 1906. You made it in 1927. He hung up on me. So what you call something doesn't really matter except for, again, your market. If your market is selling these at $1.50 and you're going to do thousands of them, or you're going to be a fine dining restaurant and sell 50 of these at $7, that's your market. But they're the same product. There is no difference between them.
So a Haagen-Dazs, they make a pretty good sorbet. It's the same as an Italian ice.
That's right. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you something interesting about Haagen-Dazs that I didn't know, and it really confused me because, you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm out.
Okay, check this out.
Ah, ooh.
It's a beautiful thing. I probably could have made more.
Huh.
I could have made more.
Try not to eat a lot of this. I want to give it out to my doctors. That's a trick you got to know while just working here. Bring ice cream. You know, if you've got one of these doctors, like I said, I only have one eye, so I go to an eye surgeon, and they said he makes all his appointments, all 15 of them, for 3 p.m. So bring War and Peace. You're going to be here for days. And so with that, I brought in quarts of ice cream. And I learned pretty fast, hold on to the ice cream. Don't give it to the receptionist. No, I'll just hold it for the doctor. No, we'll take it into him. No, I'll hold it for the doctor. And, it's melting. You know, you get into the doctor like that. You know, it works every single time. I hope my GP isn't listening because that's how I get, right away. Come on up.
Taste this.
Okay.
Let me know if you failed.
Oh, that's really refreshing. You know what? It almost needs a little Hershey syrup.
Oh, okay.
Is that
Not on
possible?
top, though.
No, it mixed in. Or in your case, Giardelli.
234,
Full
full
speed.
speed.
It's an Italian ice. Your Giardelli powder would be great in it.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
That would really.
I didn't bring it.
That would be over the top. Because
Good
it just
point.
it needs a little bit more chocolate.
Good point.
Where would we get the ice cream in the bag?
Any dairy. Where do you live?
You're
What
in
state do you live?
Texas? Shep's Dairy in Dallas.
The funny thing is mine doesn't
Meadow
come
Gold in
in
Texas.
a bladder. It comes in a 5-gallon bucket from my dairy.
Same
North
idea.
Carolina. So,
Well, that's North Carolina
yeah,
for you.
exactly.
Who's your dairy?
Homeland.
Okay. Boy, that's good. We have lunch coming up in a few minutes. I know you're starving.